Mary Kay Ash believed in the power of personal relationships. She believed that in business, as in life, relationships are the foundation of success. Spreading this message was her passion. Living it well was her gift to us. And now the torch has been passed. As independent national sales directors who learned by Mary Kay's example, it falls to us to live the legacy and ignite the passion in the next generation of independent beauty consultants. At the heart of our businesses, we're guided by Mary Kay's idea that you don't have to affect 1,000 people to make a difference in the world. Making a difference simply requires your willingness to do unto others, one person at a time.
When we first moved into our neighborhood, it was pretty clear what I did. I mean, how could you miss it with the pink Cadillac? And one of the first neighbors I met asked me, "Are you the Mary Kay lady?" And of course, I said with pride, "You better believe it. Has anyone ever introduced a product to you? Have you tried our fabulous products?" And she said, "Oh, no, there's no way. I only use a certain product sold by a certain woman in Chicago." And I said, "Well, that's great. But if you change your mind, I would love to be the one that shows you." It was several months later at a party. She came up to me and she looked and she said, "Your skin looks better than mine." And I said, "I know." Don't you think it's time? And it may sound hysterical, but I've learned that you don't have to be pushy to build a great customer and friend.
You're exactly right. And what I love most about the story is it illustrates a wonderful lesson I have learned. Relationships take time. I started my Mary Kay business after only 1 month here in the United States, and I want them to go more quickly. You know, the language, I wasn't comfortable approaching people. I just really didn't have the skills I needed yet.
Isn't that how we all are? In today's society, we want instant gratification. It is so amazing how we find a person that we want to have as our customer, and we have an appointment with them on Wednesday, and by Friday morning, we want her to be a superstar. But you know, it takes time. When you plant something, you never know when it might turn into something.
The point is, we won't have the success that we want and deserve if we don't put enough into our relationships.
And that's why we're here today, isn't it? Because Mary Kay is a relationship-based business. And in order to succeed, you have to realize that all interactions matter.
Vicki, I couldn't agree with you more. No conversation is so small that it should ever be considered insignificant. From the woman you see at the grocery store that you smile at, the woman in the neighborhood that you see, they are all very important. They all matter. So today, we're gonna go back to some basics, to a few things that are gonna help us in our daily interactions that will ignite the spark that will give us strong, lasting relationships.
And while these may be basic skills, they aren't skills that come naturally to most of us. As women, we often rely on our intuition, but in order to be great communicators, we have to take the time to develop and master these skills. So I think we should consider this square one, where our communication skills begin to blossom.
Mary Kay always said that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you should listen twice as much as you talk. And let me tell you something, she lived it, because when she was talking to you, she was talking to you.
There could be a crowd around her, but she was with you and no one else. She had a unique way of celebrating people.
Well, she knew the importance of listening to people, and I mean really listening, because it's an active thing, not a passive thing. She really understood that.
And it's important for 2 reasons. There's an old sales adage that goes, your customer will tell you everything you need to know in order for you to sell her your product. All you have to do is listen. So first and most obvious, by listening, you receive valuable information. And the second reason it's important to listen is because you make the other person feel important.
And that one is so important because Mary Kay always taught us that we should treat every person like they have a sign around their neck that says, "Make me feel important." A minute ago I said listening wasn't passive. Good listening is active. It takes the whole body.
Absolutely, Sandra. Absolutely. You know, a lot of times I think we forget to be mindful of what we're doing. You know, we're communicating with our bodies. I always say, you get what you give. For example, when you're smiling, don't they just smile right back at you?
They do, and eye contact, it's another one. Going back to what I was saying about Mary Kay, really an explosion could go off right next to her and she would not take her eyes off of you. And what we learned from watching her do that is that when you divert your attention away from somebody, you're really saying, I'm not interested in this conversation anymore.
Why don't we talk about body language for a minute? Because posture communicates so much. When you stand with an open posture and your arms and your body are relaxed, the person that you're with will actually mirror you. In a sense, you can set the tone of the conversation just by making some subtle adjustments in how you stand. For example, if you lean forward, you communicate, I'm interested in what you have to say. Am I right, Sandra?
Certainly, and I teach this one all the time. You can't believe how people react when you pass out your business card with a little sample and a big smile. I mean, if somebody smiles at you, you're more inclined to say hello, to talk to that woman, because life is like a mirror. As you said, Gloria, you get what you give.
Anytime you can warmly respond, you know, a nod, a smile, a wave, whatever, people are more likely to be open to speaking with you. And as soon as they start sharing, you will start receiving some of the information you need to meet their needs. Then you make a connection, then there's the sale.
And it's a continual process. If you show genuine interest, your customer will start sharing. And as you listen attentively, they start to share more because, well, they feel like somebody cares. They feel important. Remember though, women are intuitive, which means we really have to care. If our listening isn't motivated by sincerity, the cycle is broken.
Exactly. Our customers feel important when we make them important. I think it comes down to being thoughtful in what you do. Devote your full attention to the person you are speaking with and don't interrupt them.
Oh yeah, how many times does this happen to you? You're trying to have a conversation and she's just talking all over it. Well, we certainly don't want to do that. And one of the best ways I found to keep my attention is by engaging people at the appropriate time. If you have, for example, 5 minutes, don't start a 10-minute conversation. You want to make sure that the conversation fits the circumstance.
It's got to fit your circumstance and their circumstance. You definitely have to be mindful of the person you're speaking to. If they're working, if they're standing in line, if they're trying to take care of their kids, you really want to be sensitive to that. You want to engage people in a way that's appropriate for them.
Sometimes it's hard to determine why we don't get a person's full attention. Most people you meet will have an opinion about what you do. Like my neighbor, remember? You're going to get different responses, like, oh, Mary Kay, or, oh, Mary Kay, or, oh, Mary Kay. It's really 3 responses. The first is, nope, I'm not interested. And you want to build a relationship outside of Mary Kay. You never know where it'll take you. The other is simply asking, tell me more. I'm interested, but not sure. And the last is, wow, I'm excited. And that is most likely a hostess during your power start. There are many meanings to that word, oh.
I love that word, oh. You got to listen for it and you have to learn what it means. Correctly interpreting that little word can change the entire conversation.
My independent national sales director has always encouraged us to get out of the house. She says the hardest part of independent sales isn't getting into someone else's home, it's getting out of your own. Now, I've always enjoyed working from a coffee shop or a cafe because these days all of them are internet ready. So it's so easy to sit with a cup of coffee and just get some work done. Besides, you never know who you might bump into.
Audrey? Audrey McDowell?
Yes,
Is that you?
it is.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, and this is the craziest coincidence. I was just
She was calling me by name, and I didn't know who she was. I mean, normally I'm great with names. I pride myself on meeting someone and committing their name to memory. I'll work it into a few sentences. I'm purposeful about it because I think knowing someone's name is one of the best ways to make them feel important. This time, however, I just couldn't place her.
I have to confess, I feel like I know you, but I'm embarrassed to say I cannot remember your name.
No, you don't have a thing to be embarrassed by. We've actually only met once and then briefly at Sue Reynolds' house. I'm Catherine.
Oh yes, Catherine, you're Sue's best friend, right?
Yes, I am, and you know for years she has told me wonderful things about you, and when I saw you sitting over here, I just had to come and say hello.
Well, I am so glad you did. I know Sue just loves you.
Well, she is dear to me too. You know, she let me try that moisturizer that she uses, and I was wondering where I might get some of that.
Oh, well, it couldn't be easier. I have some right back at the office. Now, you know, Sue is using the cleanser and moisturizer set.
You know, she told me about that, and I use a cleanser that I actually really love, so.
Once I explained how the products work together, Catherine wanted both the cleanser and the moisturizer. She was still a little hesitant about making any changes with her foundation, though.
I do have a quick question. Just so that I could get you paired with the right products for your skin type, does your skin tend to be dry to normal or combination to oily?
I usually ask a couple of questions. What are you currently using to take care of your skin, and what would you most like me to help you with? Every customer needs something. In sales, our task is simply to identify the need and meet it. In that moment, it was clear that Catherine was comfortable with the cleanser and moisturizer, but not ready to change her foundation. So I decided to send her home with a sample.
Well, I could just drop that by your house.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
It is no problem, seriously. What time would work best for you?
How about tomorrow morning?
Perfect. You know what, Catherine? I have a sample that I'm just gonna send you home with.
It was a simple first step, but it demonstrated that I was listening, that I understood what she wanted and cared enough to make sure she got it on her terms. And that's the heart of great customer service. As a new beauty consultant, I just didn't know what I was doing. When I held my first skincare class, I was so focused on making this perfect presentation that by the end of the appointment, I sold one mascara. My second appointment went much better. In fact, I doubled my sales. I sold a whopping $13 in product. So I went and found a successful beauty consultant and said, "Can I just follow you and watch what you do?" And by watching her, I learned the secret. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. At every appointment, I began to ask my customers what they would most like to learn about and how I could help them. This completely changed my results simply because I was focused on the customer.
That's good. The most important thing is that once you do get to know them, understanding what they're asking is critical in the process of communication. It can help you build a customer for life.
I love the way Audrey learned something very important early in her career. She learned that that one question could make the difference for her and her customers.
And you know, I really didn't feel like I was the most talented, but I was teachable. Anytime I learned a new skill or I picked up on a new way of approaching something, I would write it down in a notebook that I called my brain book. And I would study those notes until I knew them backwards and forwards. Not only did this make me more confident in the work I was doing, but confidence combined with product knowledge led to more effective sales.
Earlier, I said to have the success that you want and deserve, you have to work on your relationships. Well, that is working on your relationships. Thanks, Audrey. We need to be genuinely interested in our customers' lives and seeking ways to improve our ability to connect with them. But not everything has to be sales-focused. Would you guys agree?
Yeah. I find myself trying to seek some common ground with the women I meet. It's a lot easier to talk to people when you have something in common. So I'll try and meet them where they are in life.
That's a great tip, Sandra. Obviously, to learn about someone, you have to be attentive and you have to listen.
You talk to a mom who stays at home with her children about different things than a single woman who works in the corporate world.
And another way to say this, something I remind myself of quite often, is just look for that something special in that person. Pay her a sincere compliment, and then you can try and connect with her there.
Can you help me with something?
Yes.
Great. Can you stand next to me?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, exactly. Would you guys say that she is open or closed to what's getting ready to happen?
Close.
Closed, exactly. Her arms are crossed, she's leaning away from me. This is a classic closed posture, isn't it, Vicki?
Yeah, when you're talking to somebody, you want to be aware of what the body is telling you and then adjust to it. The crossed arms are usually easy to pick out, but there are other signs you'll see when people are closed off. Maybe they slightly lean away or they back up, or sometimes you'll notice they even want to start to exit the conversation.
Oh no, don't go anywhere yet, don't go anywhere. Another thing people try to do, they look at their watch or they do some other things to divert their attention. Sometimes it's obvious, but sometimes it's pretty subtle.
Now remember, this is not etched in stone. Think of it as nonverbal suggestions, because most often people don't realize they're being closed.
Now, if someone is closed off, you can mirror them.
I didn't even know.
That's okay, that's okay, that's okay. Go back to the way that you were standing. Go back to the way they stood. Now, I'm not closing off, but I am mirroring. People will unintentionally respond to subtle suggestions in movement. I'll show you what I mean. What's your name?
I'm Susanna.
And I'm Gloria. How long have you had your Mary Kay business?
About 3 months.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, so far.
Now, that didn't sound very convincing. That didn't sound convincing.
Well, like you guys said, I think I would like my relationships to develop a little more quickly.
You know what? This is so perfect. Did you guys see that? There's a point in every conversation where people will begin to open up. But we need to be aware of what they're doing and adjust to that. When she turned to me, I opened up my arms and she automatically opened up. Did you guys see that happen?
Yeah.
Did you see that happen? She became very open, her body became open, her conversation became open. But occasionally, people don't open up. Sometimes they stay closed. And when they do, it's okay. Give them space, let them go. There's no value in either of us forcing a situation. Thank you so much. You can have a seat. And would you guys give Suzanne a round?
Remember how we started with the idea that all interaction matter? Whether you hear yes, no, or maybe, it's important that we leave every person we meet with a positive impression of ourselves and of Mary Kay.
And as we begin to talk about respect, I want to challenge you to think of 3 kinds of respect that are relevant to our business. First, as independent beauty consultants, we do business in a countless number of places. So it's really important that we respect the establishments where we might be working. And that means from the way we speak to their customers and their employees.
That's a great point, Vicki, because if someone came up to my assistant while she was working for me and took 15 or 20 minutes of her time, I would not be happy.
Nor would I if someone made my customer feel uncomfortable. And second, show respect for the person you're speaking to. Don't forget that common courtesy can go a long way in this area. And if you make a promise, follow through. And finally, respect yourself as a Mary Kay beauty consultant. You have a tremendous opportunity and you're running your own business. Take pride in what you do.
Just the other day, I was in the gym And my trainer says, Sandra, you have a beautiful skin. And I said, and this is a small gym, I said, well, I'm a Mary Kay beauty consultant. That started this whole conversation, and there were several ladies around. One of them brought up Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which led me to talking about Mary Kay Ash Charitable Foundation and how much they are doing. And now these women have a whole new outlook on Mary Kay after a 15-minute conversation.
Oh, that is so great. We do send unintentional messages to the people around us, and sometimes we don't even know it. And those unintentional messages can be both positive and negative impressions.
Oh, and they were listening. One woman came up to me later and she said, what do you do with Mary Kay? I said, oh, well, I'm independent national sales director. And she said, wow, so you drive one of those pink cars? Of course, and I'm very proud of that. I've always believed that being assertive is only partly about making the most of a situation. Being assertive also means doing things with confidence. I was confident in the impression I had left her, and I knew we would see each other again.
I call that purposeful patience. You want to choose when to be assertive because there are times when being patient and letting the positive feelings linger will pay big dividends down the road.
I think the bottom line is we should be assertive, not aggressive. We should be assertive, not passive.
No. Melva has a great story that I really think highlights the difference between being assertive and aggressive. Melva, would you share your story?
Sure. When I was a new consultant, I was out and I saw this lady. She was sharp. I mean, she looked outstanding. So I followed her out the store. I probably followed her about 2 blocks. I just had to give her my card. She was absolutely stunning. I would not let this opportunity go by. And she turned around and looked at me and said, is everything okay? And I thought, oh my goodness. I have been chasing after this lady. And in that split second, I saw the whole thing from her perspective. My intentions were good, but I went about it in a not so good way.
Melva, everyone is going to make mistakes. Listen, ladies, you will make a handful of embarrassing mistakes. But Melva is a testament to the fact that as long as you take the lessons, you can still build a successful business. Wouldn't you agree, Melva?
Absolutely. When faced with a similar situation right now, I first look at how valuable this experience will be for her and at what impression it will leave on me as well as my business.
Melva, it takes a lot of character to stand up and share that story. Let's give her a hand for being so brave.
Think of aggressive behavior as being pushy, driving for the sale at the expense of the relationship. When we're assertive, we are focused on the win-win. People are so attracted to that.
And if I can jump in for a second, we have wonderful products.
Yeah.
And we're affiliated with really wonderful people. And I've always felt that one of the biggest points of difference in the way Mary Kay beauty consultants do things is that they work from a position of poise and enthusiasm. And aggressive tactics lack confidence, and they communicate desperation. Sometimes it's better to just leave somebody with a hello and a nice smile.
Sandra, isn't that what happened to you in the gym? You recognized at that moment, sometimes it's better to leave a positive impression of you and Mary Kay.
Yes, definitely. As we were talking, I sensed that she was just making conversation, so I didn't want to press too hard. And because she was regular at the gym, because I saw her in there from time to time, I knew this probably wasn't going to be the last time I would see her. That gave me the freedom to keep things casual.
And sometimes we don't give ourselves enough freedom to just smile, say a nice word without any strings attached.
Remember, it's our role to connect with other people, not their role to connect with us. And as long as I'm connecting, whether it's a kind word to someone at the gym or extending my card in the doctor's office, I can take the lead in the conversation. I know where I want it to go, and I can make an effort to guide it there. to make purposeful decisions. I anticipate and respond instead of reacting in amazement.
How does that look?
It's stunning. You do incredible work.
Thank you.
No, thank you. It's great to know that some people still put some passion in their work.
Well, when you own your own business, it's hard not to put all of yourself into it.
You own the shop?
Since last spring.
It is adorable. And you know, I know exactly how you feel about giving it your all. I own my own business as well.
Really? What do you do?
I'm a Mary Kay independent beauty consultant. Have you ever tried our products?
No, I haven't.
I don't mean to keep you, but I'd love to share my business card with you and this catalog. You will see some of our great products and some incredible gift ideas. And if you don't mind, I'd love to give you a call.
Actually, hey, let me go get your order.
Okay, thanks, Grace.
Can you excuse me for a minute?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I knew her from someplace, but I just couldn't figure out where I knew her from. I was thinking, is she a teacher at my son's school? Do I know her from church? I just couldn't put my finger on it.
I don't expect for you to remember me, but you consulted me on a lip color a couple years ago.
Ah, Michelle.
Yes.
Wow, I hardly recognize you. Look at your hair, and you're a new mom.
I am, I know.
I'd followed up with Michelle, I don't know, probably 3 times over a period of a couple of months. She hadn't returned any of my messages, and I remember being pretty disappointed. I mean, I really thought we clicked.
And, you know, I need to apologize to you.
For what?
Right after we first met is when I found out I was pregnant, and...
So often we get our feelings hurt, and it's easy to think that every unreturned phone call reflects on us. Seeing Michelle was a great reminder that it isn't about me. It's all about my customers. I do this because I care about people.
Well, I happen to have a sample of your favorite color. Apricot glaze, right?
That is it, apricot glaze. Oh my gosh, Melva. How on earth did you remember that?
I have no idea how I remember it, but I did. And I think that's what people are looking for. It needs to be personal, and it needs to be sincere. People are attracted by what you do, and not just the people you're talking to. You're making impressions on everyone around you.
Here you go, Michelle.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And Melva, it was great to see you.
It was. And I'll give you a call tomorrow just before I drop your lipsticks off.
Perfect. Bye.
See you later.
Grace, it was great meeting you, and you do have a beautiful store.
Listen, I would love to hear from you soon.
A few days later, I was having coffee with Grace, and she confessed to me that she hadn't even considered doing business with Mary Kay until she saw the warmth between Michelle and me. I think that's why Mary Kay Ash spends so much time teaching us to focus on other people's needs. There's nothing we can do that's more attractive. Nothing.
Was my biggest obstacle after my move. Sure, there were things that I couldn't control, but really when it comes down to it, if my business was gonna go anywhere, I needed to overcome my fears. And what I feared was starting again. And I know that may sound a little strange coming from someone that had experienced pretty good success in Mary Kay so far, but this was a whole new town and it brought a whole new set of challenges for me. I'm the type of person that treasures relationships. I love people. And before the move, those came pretty easily to me. Of course, they didn't happen all overnight. Some did, and some took months, and some took a whole lot longer. You all know what I'm saying. And some came simply because I had friends and family around me. But in the new town, I didn't have any of that to fall back on.
Brenda, this is a really good point, and maybe this isn't your exact situation, but sometimes we find a new beauty consultant might experience something similar. She doesn't think she has any contacts, but she starts making a list, and pretty soon she thinks,
I know a lot more people than I thought.
Absolutely. I think it's a common thread that can run through all of our businesses at some point or another. We all feel like we may not know enough people. And when I started building those friendships, I was hesitant to even mention my Mary Kay business for fear that they would think that I was only interested in them for Mary Kay. And that was not the case at all. Finally, I realized I had to get out of my own way. I take pride in being an independent beauty consultant. I love meeting new people. I found that I had to go back to those skills that I learned as a brand new independent beauty consultant. So as the time was right, I found a way to bridge that gap between the friendships I had started to create and the business that I love.
Thank you so much, Brenda, for sharing that story. That was so good. Ladies, let me tell you something about this thing about fear. About meeting new people and starting your business is something we all face. But Brenda is so right. In order to become successful, we must face our fears. She pulled on her skills you're all going to learn. It's no different than any other part of your life. And let's talk a little more about something Brenda excels at, cultivating those new relationships. We must go deeper. A contact is not a relationship. No, let me say that again. A contact is not a relationship. In order to be successful as a beauty consultant, you must have relationships. In order to have a relationship, you must invest yourself, your time, your thought, your energy into people you meet and into some of those amazing customer programs that Mary Kay offers. The return on your investment will be meaningful relationships. Without the effort, all you have is a name and a phone number.
Well, I think it's safe to say that we all want to have more meaningful relationships, right? And to take Gloria's investment metaphor a step further, I would add that sincerity has a compounding effect on your investment. And ladies, you all know as women, we can sniff out insincerity from a mile away.
Right.
Genuine concern expressed in thoughtful and appropriate ways will help the relationships grow deeper and more meaningful.
And when we say appropriate ways, I think it's important to note that everyone needs something different. Take the time to ask your clients how they want to be contacted. And this is one area where I suggest you take their lead. If they email, respond in email. If they text message, text them back. But don't become reliant on technology. Nothing can substitute for good old-fashioned face-to-face time.
Also remember that relationships are organic thing. They change over time. Let the way you communicate with your customer grow along with the relationship.
About 2 years ago, my husband's job relocated us. I was in a new state, 4 hours away. The transition was challenging for me, and for a couple of months, I relied on my business back home and was reluctant to build anything new. I was a new independent sales director, and I knew that if I didn't want to give up on this business, I needed to get back in gear.
Hi, Brenda. Hey, Amanda. How are you? Good. How are you? Great. I hope my directions were okay. Oh, they were fine. Absolutely.
I didn't know many people, but one girl that I really liked, cute, smart, funny, she agreed to meet with me.
I know you weren't expecting this, but I convinced my friend to join us. I hope that's okay.
Not a problem at all.
Oh,
absolutely.
Good. Jenny, this is Brenda. Brenda, this is my friend Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Great. Okay, Amanda, go ahead.
You need to be ready for anything, to be able to adapt to whatever is thrown at you. Now, icebreakers are a great tool in group situations. They really help loosen everyone up, even with friends.
That is very unique, Amanda. Wow. Never had that said before. So let me get to know a little bit more about your needs for both of you. So, Amanda, you first. Tell me, what's your current beauty regimen?
Oh, well, I've just done the drugstore and department store regimen route for a long time, and this is all very new to me. but I am looking forward to more individual attention.
Absolutely. Okay, great. How about you, Jenny? What's your current beauty regimen?
Same as her, just basically gone to drugstores.
Now, when I have an appointment, I like to come prepared, which made this one a big challenge. I was not expecting Jenny. She was a tough customer. I had to adapt.
From here, you're going to rotate from the edge of your nose to the middle of the iris, and that's the arch of the brow. Rotate it just one more, just to the edge of the outside corner of your eye, and you'll have where your brow should stop. Those are great guidelines just to have a great shaped brow.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah, nearly perfect.
The whole time, I could see Jenny out of the corner of my eye. And as much as I wanted to ignore her and focus on Amanda, I just couldn't do it. Even though she seemed so closed off. Negative, even. Well, negative for sure. I just wanted her to leave with a positive impression of me and of Mary Kay. I knew I'd have to do more than just say the right things.
Lift those shadows.
I had to let the spirit of Mary Kay shine through my actions.
Well, I don't really have dark shadows or dark circles. Would the facial highlighting pen still be something that I really need?
Not necessarily. Really, it is about lifting those shadows. So if you find that you don't really have shadows, it may not be right for you.
I've always been really honest with people because when I tell them that they do need a product, I want those words to really mean something.
So wait, you're saying that she doesn't have to get the pen?
That's right.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Likely.
Jennifer.
It's okay, really. I take it you had a bad experience. You want to tell me about it?
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know what you call it, but I was at one of those appointments where you take off all of your makeup. And I told the girl ahead of time that I was happy with what I was using and I didn't want to spend a lot of money. But she brought over a ton of products and...
I didn't want to just brush her previous experience under the rug to pretend like it didn't happen. I felt like she needed to voice her concerns, and I needed her to voice them. Not only so that she could begin to work through them, but so we could clear the air. I could tell that Amanda really cared about Jenny's opinions, and it was a strategy that paid off.
Well, I'm so sorry you felt that way. It's honestly never my intent to ever come across as aggressive or pushy. I'm really about filling your needs in skincare and just having you as a happy client. So I promise you I'm so not going to chase you to your car with a sales ticket.
Amanda ended up joining my team with Jenny's full support and encouragement. Then later, you're not going to believe this. Later, Amanda recruited Jenny's mom, who in turn recruited Jenny. Intentionality. I feel like we keep coming back to this because so much of our business takes purpose. We need to be intentional if we want to build rapport with our customers. And we need to design positive interactions. What are some things we can do intentionally that can help to cultivate our relationships? Anybody? Yes.
Thank you notes.
Thank you notes, so important. And it's really for every aspect of our business. And Mary Kay taught us the power of the written word. That's great. Yes.
What about follow-up? You know, on personal stuff.
Like what? What do you mean?
Say you have a customer who's planning a trip to Europe. Next time you speak with her, ask her how it went.
That is super, because it doesn't always have to be about business, right? Adding that personal touch, that's really important. What else? Yes.
Well, I like to send cards for special occasions like birthdays and anniversaries.
That's fabulous. I can't tell you how many times I've actually gone to a customer's home and I see the card on their fridge, and it really makes her feel special. That's wonderful. Audrey, did you have something to share?
Yeah, I know that thinking about doing something personal for your customers can seem a little bit overwhelming. I have a spiral notebook to follow up with customers that works great. I just write down their names and the date and the reason I'll be contacting them. And it takes 2 seconds, but it allows me to follow up and give excellent customer service.
Absolutely, and we need to have a simple system that's rooted in thinking about the needs of others. How about one more? Anything else?
How about simply saying, I don't know?
That is great, Melva, because you know, you're not expected to know, especially when you're just getting your business started. But it should be, I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. And you have great resources from your sales director to your sister beauty consultants to the Mary Kay corporate office.
We've talked a lot today about being intentional in how we communicate with our customers. Let's be just as intentional about expanding our knowledge and understanding about how to build this Mary Kay business. I think being a knowledgeable beauty consultant is one of the greatest ways that you can instill trust in your customers.
Yeah, that's great.
I wasn't out looking to make contacts. I was just running errands. But I was ready, in case I bumped into somebody I clicked with. And I'm glad I was. Okay, great.
As soon as I get this done, what we just done.
Claudia?
Okay.
You?
Brenda! Hey! What are you doing here?
I'm just mailing a package.
Yeah, yes, honey. Play with it for a little bit.
I love what you've done with your hair.
Thank you, Lisa Tria, but so where are you off to?
Well, I'm being a mom and working my Mary Kay business.
I didn't know you sold Mary Kay.
Oh, yeah, and I love it. In fact, I have this great event next week, and I would love for you to come and be my guest. I know it's kind of last minute, but would you want to come?
Yeah, sure. What day is it?
It's on Saturday, next week.
Let's see, what will we be doing though?
We'll have a great new color line launching, and I would love to have you come and get your opinion, and plus it would give us a chance to catch up.
Yeah, that's great. Gotta go. Yes, honey. You know what? I think that would work.
Okay, great. I'll call you next week with all the details, okay?
Thanks, Brenda.
Okay, it's good to see you, Claudia.
Sorry about that.
I think that's what Mary Kay always taught us. You treat everyone with the same level of warmth and respect, no matter who they are or how they respond to you. A yes or a no should be met with the same amount of grace and appreciation.
You have one new message.
Hey, Brenda, this is Claudia. It was great seeing you this afternoon. Listen, I just wanted to make sure we didn't have any misunderstandings. I don't use Mary Kay, and I don't really intend to. I'm happy to come, but I'm not a potential sale, so if that was your expectation, I just didn't want it to be a waste of your time. But call me, okay? Look forward to it. Bye.
It caught me off guard, definitely. And I think the natural reaction is to feel like I did something wrong, or that she's saying no to me. But she wasn't. And it didn't make her any less of a friend.
Claudia, please leave a message.
Hey, Claudia, it's Brenda. Thank you so much for giving me a call and letting me know your concerns. I really appreciate your honesty. And you know what? I still want you to come as my guest. I want you to experience these new products. And it's not a big deal that you don't intend on buying anything. I really want to get your opinion, and I can't wait to catch up with you, okay? So give me a call, we'll talk. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. I'm a firm believer in diffusing potential conflict right away. Normally, I probably wouldn't have left her a message, but I really wanted her to have a quick and peaceful resolution to the situation. In all honesty, what I did in that moment wasn't much. It took me a few seconds. A few seconds that allowed her to tell me no. And when you give people that kind of freedom, something funny happens. Sometimes they end up saying yes.
On the customer terms, that's really at the heart of what we're talking about today. That is golden rule service. To provide service on their terms, you have to know what their terms are. The best question you can ever ask someone is, what works best for you? We want to make sure our customer understand that we want to give them what they want when they want it.
And of course it helps if you have inventory.
Well, what if you just sold your last Berry Sparkle lip gloss?
Well, I would have to say, oh my goodness, that is one of my best-selling colors because it usually is one of the most popular. But I can have it for you in just a few days.
And when we are promising timelines, let's make sure we remember to under-promise and over-deliver. Our goal is to exceed our customer expectations.
Along these same lines of serving people on their terms, we need to remember to give people the freedom to say no. Because what I have found is no may not be forever. I think we all understand that not everyone is going to say yes. We need to be in the habit of making our customers comfortable. And it goes back to relationships. Being pushy more often than not, it turns people off.
Right.
And being sensitive to the people around you and making connections, well, it's the essence of our business. When you are sincere and you see the qualities in people that are enduring to you, it's like a spark. It just ignites something inside you, like you said.
That's what sets us apart. Mary Kay is part of our everyday life. We call it the Mary Kay Customer Service Advantage. That's a really big name, but it's pretty simple. We provide service based on relationships. We offer our customers convenience, and we offer them a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Let me tell you something, ladies. It is a huge deal that we have a very easy 100% satisfaction guarantee. And the fact that we have it is one of the major reasons our customers are less likely to return our products. If they have an issue with something, I found they will exchange it or they'll work with us because we're willing to stand behind what we sell.
We have amazing benefits for our customer, like this guarantee. When we talk about service based on their needs, you want your customer to recognize the pride you have in what you do. It reinforces the relationship. So sell yourself on the benefits of being a Mary Kay customer.
And then work to personalize her every need. Know your clients, their likes, their dislikes, their buying habits, and anticipate their needs. That's really the biggest advantage. Personalized service is convenient. And when you're anticipating her order, next time she calls and you say, I have it all in stock, oh, that goes a long way. Unlike the department store, we have the ability to do things in person, on the phone, online, at their house, and our customers get to pick the way they want to do business.
When we consistently meet the expectations of our customers, when we demonstrate a sincere appreciation for their business, and we don't make excuses when things don't go according to plan, our customers notice. Mary Kay often said that loyalty is a priceless commodity. And if we want loyal customers, we need to be loyal to them and dedicated to providing them with golden rule service.
Anyone who has ever met Rosemary will tell you, she's anything but a little old lady. She's a firecracker. I just adore her. She means the world to me. Now, this was probably 4 years ago. I had been building my business for quite a while when she just walked right up to me and said, Audrey, may I have a quick word with you?
Audrey, I've seen some of those beautiful makeovers you're doing on those pretty young women. You're doing a marvelous job of putting them together.
Oh, well, thank you, Rosemary.
I would love to have one of those makeovers you do. But I'm sure you wouldn't want to take the time for an old woman like me.
Oh, don't be silly. I would love nothing more. I'd love to schedule a time when we could get together. Where should we start? I have some fabulous new lip colors.
I think we could just skip over all that and go right to the anti-aging cruise.
I thought I'd talk to every person I knew about Mary Kay. Everyone. But Rosemary, her words broke my heart. I couldn't believe I would overlook someone like that. Now, here we are, 4 years later, and Rosemary McGavern is hands down my most loyal client. something that comes directly from our genuine love for one another. She's like my second mother. Our relationship is built on trust. To this day, she calls up and says, "Audrey, dear, I'm out of everything. Please do me a favor and order me all my things." Of course, she can't be out of everything. Rosemary's become a phenomenal customer and an even better friend. Most of the time, when I stop by, it's not even about business.
Get in here, Audrey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm just wonderful.
Well, good. I brought you a little present.
I love it.
Well, I knew you would. She won't hesitate to put me to work, though. But mostly, she talks and I listen.
Yes, that was my high school prom. Oh, well, it was his friend's idea, though, and when he walked in that room, every head on the dance floor turned to look at him. And when my girlfriend said, "Thomas wants to meet you," I almost fell over.
Oh, you must have looked so beautiful.
Yes.
Somebody a lot smarter than me once said that sales is simply finding a need and meeting it. With Rosemary, I learned that what she desired wasn't simply what I was selling. Through the buying process, I'm able to meet some deeper need. She wants someone who cares for her and spends time with her and makes her feel like she has value. And I learned that when you start providing customer service at that level, you aren't satisfied with delivering anything less than that. Mary Kay always said, what sets us apart from every other company is how we serve our customers, that there's never a traffic jam on that extra mile. I'm thankful for customers like Rosemary who have shown me the truth behind Mary Kay's words.
My dream for everyone with a Mary Kay business is that we'll embrace a desire to affect change in the lives of women, to embrace a willingness to give ourselves in service to others. We are in the business of relationships. Seeking to connect with every woman we meet will have a lasting impact on our business. I believe, as Mary Kay believed, service is the real heart of our business, and success comes one customer at a time. Our ability to make a difference requires a willingness to do for others as we would have them do for us. After all, that is the golden rule.